Hey everyone, good evening. I'm Darrell Winninger, meteorologist at Central Oregon Daily News, and across the high desert today. On this Tuesday, we started off cold. We had some snow on the ground, just not too much in the way of totals till you get into the highest elevations. And the next couple of days, more snow showers are expected. Most of this accumulation through Friday morning is mostly going to stay in the highest elevations of the Cascades, but some parts of Central Oregon are expecting some slick roads and even, yes, some light totals. So we're about to do a deep dive into your most reliable forecasts, and we're going to look at what's been happening across Central Oregon, what's expected to change through the next couple of days, and how these changes really impact our weather pattern. And it all starts with what we've been seeing today and where we see some of those changes later tonight. So let's really get into it. We're going to start things off just looking across Central Oregon from the Cascades through the high desert and even into some of the higher elevations around Pine Mountain and even Prineville Reservoir all show a mixture of sunshine and clouds. Lake Billy Chinook is the one that has even more clearing, and here through the next couple of days we are expecting more periods of this. In fact, if we just start off now and go forward through the next 3 days just looking at winter storm impacts, this graphic does not look too impressive. In the lowest elevations, limited impacts. Through the passes, the Cascades and the passes, some minor to moderate impacts, and most of that happens on the other side of the Cascade. So today we started off with snow on the roads for many of us on the high desert, and as of right now some roads are damp from some of that melting. We have some snow off the side of the road in Lapine and a few other locations including Lava Butte, and at times earlier we did have some at Sisters. You could even see a few pockets of that as of right now, but most of the snow that fell this morning has already melted. And that's setting us up for a refreeze overnight where we did get melting. We are looking at the potential of some icing on the roads as well as new snow showers that are going to be possible. Looking at the higher elevations, Sandy Ann Pass, Willamette Pass, and Government Camp all look like a little bit of sheen on the road, so just wet roads. And as temperatures fall back down to near and then below freezing in those locations where they're not already below freezing, we are looking at some slick spots. Even as of right now, through Sandy Ann Pass, it is 23 degrees with that air temperature, so we're looking at some road temperatures that are going to be below freezing already. That's where we are looking at some slick roads. Now when it comes to the snow report, as of 2 p.m., these are the numbers, and we really haven't seen much in the way of snow since then, and we've gotten between 2 and 6 inches of new snow through the Cascades, bringing Bachelor up to 44 inches. Hoodoo is at 21 inches, just shy of 2 feet. Timberline 55 inches, and Meadows at 49 inches. Now Wednesday's paddle prognosis shows tonight we are looking at the potential for some light totals at elevation and in our lower elevations even. And when we look at those temperatures, they are just staying below freezing. Look at Bachelor. Tonight, it's getting cold. Tomorrow, we top out in the teens with some 20s during the afternoon. At Hoodoo, not as cold, but still below freezing through the day. Even looking at Wednesday's at-a-glance planner, it does show us that some snow showers are expected through the day. They're going to be very hit and miss, but one thing that stays persistent is the snow in the mountains. So more snow at the highest elevation is expected, and we're looking at temperatures staying below freezing. So the National Weather Service has a series of winter weather advisories that are in effect through the Cascades, including a couple of winter storm warnings that are outside of our area. They show up on the map, so I included them anyways. Now, the one for the east slopes of the Cascades goes until 10 p.m. Tuesday. We're looking at an additional 2 to 5 inches, mostly tonight, in the highest elevations, mostly above 4,500 feet. On the other side of the Cascades, that winter weather advisory goes until, I believe, 7 a.m. on Friday. In fact, we can go ahead and look at that and just check it out. So, yeah, it goes until 4 a.m. on Friday in some instances, and in others it goes a little bit different when you get into the southern parts of the state. So the southern Cascades of Oregon, Thursday at 10 a.m. for some of those. And it really just differs depending on where you're at. But ultimately, that just means that we are still looking at more snow showers, but the mountains absorb the majority of this incoming precipitation. Now, we are expecting some snow showers. Some light totals are going to be possible, but you'll see in the next few minutes that we're just not looking at anything that's going to be too impressive for Central Oregon. Now, through the Cascades and west of the mountains, that's where we are looking at some decent totals. Now, through today, there have been some snow showers. We've even seen them on a couple of cameras, such as is that Prineville one out of the airport. Looking to the northwest, you can see one of those snow showers. And this all has to do with a low pressure that's been fizzling out over the Pacific Northwest. Now, this low is already starting to redevelop, but the remnants of this low, what's being left behind, that stays with us. More moisture is expected, and we do have another cold front pushing in by the time we get to Wednesday afternoon and evening, going into Thursday, and then winds are just going to be breezy at times. And we'll talk about that as we go forward through the rest of this. Looking at enhanced infrared satellite imagery and pressure, we do see a lot of those clouds over Central Oregon, but what we're seeing just outside of Central Oregon is a couple areas of circulation. Now, this is because that system is fizzling out, breaking apart in some locations, redeveloping in others, but we do have another system further out over the Pacific Ocean. And so when we look at just water vapor imagery, we do have a lot of clouds over the high desert, just not all of them are bringing precipitation into the planner. So as of 4 p.m., we have a couple of those snow showers. You can see the one just to the west and northwest of Prineville. Now through tonight, more snow is expected to be scattered through the Cascades and even in our lower elevations, but we're also looking at the potential for some in and out clouds across the high desert also. And what that really means for us is this active weather pattern, it's not over yet. We're looking at more mountain snow, some totals across the high desert between now and all the way through Thursday evening and overnight. That's when this is going to start to fizzle out. So relative humidity is moderate across the high desert, but there's nothing that's really impressive that's going to point to any details of any fog or anything like that. Just lowered visibility around where you have that precipitation that's pushing through. Now, temperatures right now, or in the last 24 hours, did not go very far, topping out in the 30s with some 40s. Some of us did not even get above freezing, or too far above freezing. We got up to freezing. Meanwhile, temperatures right now are sitting in the 30s with some 20s and a few 40s. Now that puts us between 1 degree warmer and 4 degrees cooler than 24 hours ago. And here, through the overnight hours, we are expecting temperatures to fall back through the 20s and even into the teens. And what that means for us is it's just getting cold, and a refreeze is expected. Sorry, I'm pulling something up on a different computer just to double check on some stuff. But there is a quick look at future precipitation shows that we are looking at a trace to 4 inches in the lower elevations, but 12 plus inches through the Cascades. And so as we go forward through the next few days, snow showers are indeed in the forecast, especially through the next 36 hours. By Friday and Saturday, that's when we're looking at temperatures really starting to begin their warming trend. And it's also going to bring more sunshine across Central Oregon as we fall into this break between systems, because by Sunday another system is expected, but that's not going to slow down our warming trend. In fact, by Sunday we're topping out in the mid to upper 40s with some 50s. So we are going to get mild. Temperatures are going to get back up to near and then above average for this time of the year just before another system rolls in. Now your forecast model shows that this on and off snow shower is going to continue through the next few days, just like that high resolution forecast model showed just a few minutes ago. And it's showing that low just meanders over Central Oregon, redevelops, and works its way towards the Rockies by Friday. During the afternoon and evening, that's when we're looking at more clearing. And then as we go forward past that, that's when we see another shift in the weather pattern. That's when our next system rolls in. So I'm going to look at a different forecast model that's a long-range one, and it shows that by Saturday, more clouds are expected. And by Sunday, we start to see this next system impacting us. Some PM showers on Sunday, wintry mix Sunday night going into Monday, rain and snow showers expected. Now that's pretty far out, and usually we don't show that far out as far out in the future as far as what the forecast model is showing, but I just thought you'd like to see it. So between now and Thursday at 11 p.m., we're looking at, just not much snow at all, and the lower elevations really a trace to maybe getting up to 4 inches, and that'll be few and far between in those areas that get that high. Now through the Cascades, that's where we have that pink color. That pink color is 12 plus inches, so it's a foot plus. So most of the snow falling through the next several days is going to be on the other side of the Cascades. Now through the highest elevations of the Cascades, we are looking at the potential of getting up to a foot plus of new snow, but it's really for the most part, we are expecting the very light totals in the lower elevations. We're going to be going back and forth so much from rain to snow that I really don't think a lot of this is going to stick, but a few locations might have to break out the snow shovels. And then through the rest of Sunday night, doesn't look like much in the way of change. So that means Sunday night going into Monday, Sunday after midnight, Sunday night after midnight, that's when we start to see the impacts of this next system. Now, winds are a little on the breezy side. Gusts are about 8 to 15 miles per hour, 8 to 16 miles per hour through most of Central Oregon. Actual winds, about 5 to 15 miles per hour. So not that impressive. We've mostly had a light breeze that's been picking up at times. Now, through the next 24 hours, Wednesday, by the afternoon, it's going to get breezy. It's going to get gusty across the high desert. By Thursday, we're actually looking at just a light breeze. And so for tonight, expect teens with some 20s. By Wednesday, we're looking at 30s with a few 40s and a couple of 20s possible. And roller coaster temperatures are expected. Remember, Wednesday going into Thursday, it'll be breezy. I think I need to fix this because I think Thursday we're going to be looking at a lighter breeze as those snow showers are pushing through the high desert. And the forecast model really points to most of that wind happening tomorrow, where we're just going to be getting gusty at times. And then again, by Sunday, going into Monday as well. Now, Saturday could be breezy, but look at these roller coaster temperatures. 30s, 40s, getting up to either side of 50 degrees Sunday, back into the 40s, and overnight lows are taking the same roller coaster ride that our high temperatures are. Now, our weather headlines for this Tuesday, February the 17th include snow showers and chilly days, cold nights, much colder. We're looking at teens with some 20s expected. Now, accumulating snow is expected in the Cascades, but the lower elevations, maybe some light totals, and late this week a warming trend sets up, and that warming trend is what brings us back up to near and then a little above average for this time of year just before Monday's system rolls in. And as of right now, we are looking at some hit and miss snow showers, but most of the activity is going to be through the Cascades and further off to the west. So one more time, we're going to take a look at that forecast model. It does show 12 plus inches through the passes and on the other side of the Cascades, but here through Central Oregon, we're looking at a trace to maybe getting up to 3 inches. But that is the latest in weather. Join us tonight on Central Oregon Daily News. We'll have the latest headlines and your most reliable forecast. See you then.